Hi, my name is Daniel Monk, and this is how I came to know Christ. So, I think it's really back when I was a teenager. I had gone through a lot of problems, as like some health problems, and I think really my relationship with God was more based around anger. I had grown up in a family that believed, but there was a period where I was super depressed and I didn't want to believe in God, and I kind of turned my back, and I ended up falling pretty heavy into drinking, and it just kind of spiraled out of control. My whole life had just fallen apart. It was years in the making of my own self-destruction, pretty much. I was suicidal, I was depressed, and then I was getting blackout drunk all the time. And one night was really bad. Thankfully, I never hurt anybody. I can look back now and think that God had his hand of protection on me and other people around me. But I pretty much just destroyed every relationship I had, and almost in one night, I just became such a horrible, vile person that everybody that I knew didn't want anything to do with me anymore. And I was utterly alone, totally broken, totally isolated. And in that time, my sister was trying to get me to go to church. And so I was, I had nowhere else to go. And I pretty much listened to a sermon that was given by somebody, and she was talking about her life and a lot of things I could relate to. And I remember in that moment listening to her that I don't want to be this way anymore. And I remember driving to the nearest church I could find, sobbing the whole way, like crying out, like I don't want to be broken anymore. And I found a youth minister at the church, and I told him what was going on in my life, and he kind of taught me through how to accept Christ into my life, and so I did. And that night was probably the first night in a long time that I felt more at peace. I kind of look back on it and I feel like I was running away from God as much as I could, and then he finally kicked the door down. And the next day, people I worked with, I went into the office, and even somebody said, "Something looks different about you." And I didn't realize it then, but now I know I was different, and I am different. And since then, it's been a slow process probably, but I've seen over time and how Christ has been working in my life that I'm, just constantly becoming a better version of myself, more in his image. It's slow, I'm not perfect, but one of the most powerful things, when I was going through all the drinking, I had tried AA. I knew there was a problem, but I could just never kick it. And then I was saved, and now it has absolutely no power over me. I didn't need AA after that. I needed Christ. And I think that's one of the most fundamental things I can point to of how, addiction used to have power over me. And the pain and the stuff that I carried around used to have power over me. But through Christ and through this growth process with him, and coming closer to him, draw near to God, he draws near to you. And I can see that in my life, and I can see how I was a sinner and I was kept in the chains of sin, and he broke that one, and he continues to break other chains. I see that in my life. I see how I am with my family now. I just see, just through this growth in Christ and this love that I feel from God, and I can look back and I can see how his hand was moving all the way through it, and just how he was constantly pulling me to him. And even now, when I'm not necessarily living up to it, it's still him pulling me, saying, "This is who you're supposed to be, because this is who I made you to be." And this is his love working just on me constantly. So I can definitely feel that change, and I can feel every day that Christ is just moving me closer. My name is Daniel Monk, and Jesus is my Lord.